Well, after a lot of work, you're finally ready to put together your website. Before we begin, make sure you have your research notes page open that has your images on it, as well as your paragraph planning that has your organizer and your paragraphs that you have written and revised. Finally, make sure you have your drive on a separate tab open. And we're going to start from the drive. So you can simply go to File, New, and you're going to see More, and you're going to go to Google Sites. Many of you know you can go straight over to the Apps application to use it. Okay, when you look at this, this is how it opens up. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have a site for your title. Notice how long this bar is right here. That's about how long your site should be. We'll come up with a title page later. I'm just going to put effects of research here. Okay. And now we have our options. So this is going to be your background right here for your websites. You need to have one consistent background for all pages. They should not change with every page. That's just weird and against publishing guidelines. But you can change your images. And they have a whole bunch for you to choose from right here. And you can go through those, scroll, and pick the one that makes your heart beat to your heart's content. All these options are for you. I'll pick this one just to get us started. So there we go. Now, you have other options for this, just so you know. So here is what we have. We've got our title, and now we're going to come up to the title page as well. But over here, we can work on the theme. So let's say, all right, we've got our basic background, but you can think of the layout. So these are more options. Simple. Aristotle. You can just read and think, okay, which one of these looks do you like? Which one, again, makes your heart beat? And all that good stuff. So you can see that there's slight differences to each one. I'll pick Aristotle, but let's say I don't like this background color. I want this one. There's really very little difference, isn't there? Okay, it's just that. So maybe you don't want this page, or you do. But let's get started so you can see how it works. First thing you want to do is have your title page. So this is, I said effects research, but this is actually the effects of research on 8th graders. Good or bad? All right. Now, other options, not too many here, but you do have options for how the header is. So this one is, since this is your actual title page, you may want to make just a large banner. You really don't need text. This is your home page, and you can pick and choose whether or not you want text. So I'm going to say I don't need it. So this is our home page. I am ready to start adding pages. So you simply go up to Pages, and this is our home page. Slide down here, and you select Add a Page. Let's give it a title, and something like, let's say you're going to have background information. These should somewhat mirror your sections that you created when you did your organizers. You're answering your essential questions, but come up with a simple way to let us know what it is. Okay, and lo and behold, there you have it. Now, you're ready to add text. So let's go to Insert. And for you guys, you're going to start with probably a text box. And with the text box, you have your basic options for bold and italics. Notice, well, let me do this first. Here is a place where you should go back into now that you've written your paragraphs, you can simply copy and paste them. Now, I don't have a full paragraph in here at all, so you will. And you can simply copy, go back into the page, and copy and paste, and voila, you'll have your paragraph. Obviously, that's not it, so I'll get rid of it. And you can format it here. Something to think about. Things you want with your internal text structures. This is going to be how your text appears. So if you're going to use subheadings, titles, you can think about how you might use these. If you're going to use bold for individual words to highlight things, or italics, those are your options right there. All right, now, so let's say you have your text here, we'll imagine it for now. And now you're ready to add an image. So you go to the image, and it's going to ask you to paste the URL. So I'm going to go back to my research note sheets, which is where I save my images. And let's say I want to start off with my sciencey one. So here we go. I want to talk about the brain. Oh, you don't copy the image, it won't work. This is why you copy the image address. So you highlight the image address. Voila. Copy. Go back to your web page. Paste it right in here, and you should see it. And select. And there you go. Now, we have other images. We have other options, rather. Do you want to make this really dominant for the page because it's a very cool image? Go for it. Think about what you want there. You do have some background options too on this. Where are those? Okay, see, when I move the cursor over here, this palette section background, if you want something to stand out, you may want to, this is regular, there's emphasis, there you can see the gray that pops up. Now this picture would not make sense for this, but if you want to have even darker border around it, you can. So with a black picture primarily, probably regular makes it stand out the most. So if you've got your picture and you really like what you've done there, you're probably good to go. I don't know why that just popped up. Let's close this back here. Alright, so now we're ready to make our yet another page. So we're going to go back to pages, and we're going to go for a new page, and let's say it's effects of head injury. We're done. Okay, so now you'll see we have home, we have background information, and now we have the effects of head injury. So we have all these pages, and again, you can think about the layout now since you are going to have more text. Maybe you want to shorten that and create your text box. So again, you're going to go back to Insert, Text Box, and you're going to pull it all the way down as much as you need, and go back to your notes where you've saved the planning and your paragraph. You're going to copy your paragraph, bring it back to the website, and paste it in. Let's say you want to do a picture first. That's no problem. Just say, okay, let's go straight for an image. Now, go back to your note page, and let's get another image. And let's take this one. Copy this. Copy it. Go back over, go back to the effects of research, paste it in here. And now I've tried this, and this is something that you may need to be aware of. Watch what happens when I try to select this one. Failed to insert image, perhaps too big. Now remember, that link took you back to the original website. So this may be an image that you are not allowed to use. You may not be able to use because of its size. And I don't have a simple solution to that. You might need to see if you can save the image onto your computer and then save it as a smaller image, or quite simply pick other images that will fit. Now that's one of two that I have that would not work. So beware that that could happen. So as you're going to go through and continue to build your pages, you will add pages all the way until you get through your information, and the very last page you're going to add will be your citations page. So citations, and we're going to go done. Now, with citations, you need to remember that when we do this, I'm going to get my text box set up, and we can do one for all. All of your citations are going to be entered based on the based alphabetically on the last name of either the author. If you don't have an author, you would go down then. Here we have Steven Reinberg. If we didn't have Steven Reinberg, we would alphabetize this by the letter M, and hopefully you have at least an article title. If you don't, perhaps you're going to be dealing with a publication title or even a website title. This is a very simple process. We're going to just copy. Okay, easy enough to do. Copy. We'll go back to the website page. We're in our citations. We're going to copy and paste it in here. Now is when we need to think about formatting. When you saw this originally using EasyBib, this first line extended out. So you're going to want to indent the individual lines below, and it won't let you do it by tab. Let me go back to this where it was. Hang on one second. Citations, paste. Okay. So you may need to just space bar it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just make sure it's even as you do this. And sometimes you have to enter the enter key to let you do it and play it around. But okay, so that's the way all these should line up. So if my next source has an article that starts with an N, it's going to go after this one. If it has a last name or an article title that starts with A or B, it'll go before it. And you can simply just continue to add these by copying and pasting. So this should get you on your way to creating your website. You may find other ways to make this even more enhanced than what I've talked about. Don't forget to include all of your essential elements that are required. Have fun.